Have you ever wondered what Jesus might have looked like? Did he have long hair? Was his skin light or dark? More importantly, what do the Bible and external historical sources really say about this? Today we will dive into a fascinating investigation, exploring sacred texts, archaeological evidence, and historical accounts to bring surprising answers about the physical appearance of Jesus. This video goes beyond simple curiosity. It helps you understand the cultural and historical context in which Jesus lived. Knowing his possible appearance can change your perspective on how he was seen in his time and how this connects to his message. Imagine the impact of understanding Jesus, not just as a divine figure, but also as a man who walked among us. Now reflect. What if you could better visualize the one who brought such a powerful message to the world? This could strengthen your faith, expand your knowledge, and help you confidently engage in conversations when the topic arises. So if you are looking to enrich your spiritual and historical perspective, this video is for you. Stay with me until the end, because what you discover today might transform the way you see Jesus and the history of Christianity. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below which city you're watching from. I'd love to see how far this message is reaching. What does the Bible say about Jesus' appearance? Interestingly, the Bible offers very little description of Jesus' physical appearance, something that has intrigued scholars and readers for centuries. The references that exist are not detailed and often take a symbolic rather than literal tone. For example, Isaiah 53:2 states, "He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him." This suggests Jesus had a common appearance without physical attributes that stood out. More than an aesthetic description, this passage reflects his humility and simplicity. Another intriguing passage is in Revelation 1:14-15, which describes Jesus very differently. The hair on his head was white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like blazing fire. Here, it is evident that the intention is not to portray Jesus literally, but to convey his divine glory and spiritual authority. This symbolic language is common in apocalyptic texts, emphasizing the impact of his presence rather than his physical features. The Bible's lack of emphasis on Jesus' physical appearance is significant. It shows that he represents something much greater than external attributes. The scriptures focus on his actions, words, and the impact of his mission. This demonstrates that Jesus' message transcends appearance and connects directly to humanity's spiritual needs. This absence of details also highlights an important point: the universality of Jesus' message. By avoiding physical descriptions, the scriptures allow people from different cultures and backgrounds to connect with him uniquely. This lack of an official image removes barriers and encourages a deeper and more personal relationship with his message. In a diverse world, this inclusive approach reflects the breadth of Jesus' love and purpose. Still, this lack of description leaves room for interpretations and assumptions. For example, Christian tradition and religious art throughout the centuries have sought to fill this void. These representations, though well-intentioned, often reflect the cultural and social context of their creators, rather than the historical reality of Jesus. This cultural projection can serve as a form of connection, but also prompts us to question how faithful these images are to the original. Additionally, some biblical passages that mention visual aspects are used as metaphors to emphasize spiritual characteristics. For instance, eyes like blazing fire may symbolize Jesus' intensity and justice, while hair white like wool might indicate wisdom and eternity. These elements reinforce the idea that Jesus' physical appearance was secondary to the spiritual impact he made. Another important perspective is how Jesus' appearance relates to his mission. He came into the world as an ordinary man, rooted in a specific culture, to relate to people in a close and authentic way. His physical simplicity reflects his humble approach and willingness to serve rather than dominate. This human connection is central to understanding why his appearance wasn't emphasized. It wasn't the focus of his message. Thus, analyzing what the Bible says about Jesus' appearance reveals that the emphasis is on his essence, not his form. This challenges us to look beyond appearances and seek a deeper connection with the values and teachings he represented. This reflection invites all of us, regardless of culture or context, to focus on what truly matters: the heart and message of Jesus. External sources and historical evidence. When we look beyond the Bible to historical sources, the picture becomes even more complex. Researchers studying first-century Galilee suggest a typical image of how Jewish men of the time might have looked. Generally, they were relatively short, with an average height of about 5'1", 160 millimeters. Their skin tended to be brown with dark, wavy hair, and their facial features reflected the characteristics of Semitic peoples. Historical documents also provide some clues, though few are directly reliable or contemporary to Jesus. For example, the famous letter attributed to Publius Lentulus, describing Jesus with chestnut hair and light eyes, is widely considered apocryphal and likely created centuries after his death. Nevertheless, it demonstrates how curiosity about Jesus' appearance has existed across different eras. Archaeological studies also help us imagine what an ordinary man of the first century might have looked like. Skulls found in the region and reconstructions using scientific methods suggest a figure very different from Renaissance European depictions. These findings indicate a Jesus closer to typical Middle Eastern features, reinforcing his historical identity as a Jew. While these sources aren't conclusive, they help debunk myths and encourage a more realistic view of Jesus. They also lead us to question why certain images dominate over others. History isn't just about facts, it's also about how those facts are interpreted and shared, artistic representations through the centuries. The image of Jesus many of us recognize is a product of European art, especially during the Renaissance. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo created depictions of Jesus with long hair, fair skin, and blue eyes. These characteristics, however, reflect European cultural and ethnic standards more than Jesus' historical reality. In other parts of the world, representations differ significantly. In Africa, for instance, Jesus is often portrayed with African features, emphasizing the connection to local identity. In Asia, he appears with Asian characteristics, such as almond-shaped eyes and lighter or yellowish skin. These images show how each culture adapts Jesus to its own reality. The diversity of artistic representations reveals an important point. Jesus is seen as a universal figure. He transcends ethnic and cultural barriers, becoming accessible to all peoples. This also reflects the Christian message that he came for everyone, regardless of origin or appearance. On the other hand, this variety raises questions about authenticity. Do these images help or hinder our understanding of who he really was? They can reinforce stereotypes or open the door to new interpretations. Regardless, art plays a crucial role in how we imagine and connect with Jesus. It not only reflects his message, but also keeps it alive in different contexts, perpetuating its impact across generations. The richness of artistic representations is a testament to how Jesus' figure continues to inspire humanity over time. More important than how Jesus looked is what he represents. His life was an example of love, compassion, and sacrifice, values that transcend any physical description. By focusing on his appearance, we risk losing sight of what truly matters, his message and its impact on our lives. Jesus is more than a historical figure or cultural icon. He is a reminder that our true essence goes beyond appearances. In a world so divided by superficial issues, his life calls us to look deeper and connect with what truly matters. And you, how do you imagine Jesus? Share your thoughts in the comments. This exchange of ideas is part of what makes the journey of faith so enriching.